It's a good stick. And I'm damned if I'm going to hand it over to you, John. No, these are later ones.
Yeah, but that whole idea of people's knowledge
Yes,
as the basis of development.
yes.
Tell us how that idea became so important for you. Because after all, you were a trained colonial officer, and when did you start to realize it was people's knowledge and not your professional skills that were so important?
I don't know exactly when it was
Yeah.
a process.
Yeah.
But it was a process which was enormously helped by the excitement.
Mm.
Excitement's not a word we hear much, or at least I don't. But hugely important, because it's for one thing, it spreads, it's contagious, and then people want to spread whatever it is, because they've enjoyed it and they've got something out of it, and they've realised the power of participatory approaches and methods and so on. And then aspects which became very, very useful. I mean, for instance, I'm not expressing this adequately, and this will be edited out, but the use of hands is I think, really quite important in interactions. If you take a questionnaire survey or something as an example, the dinosaur, which I'd better elaborate on, but the dinosaur of the questionnaire is a sort of enslavement to a process which is then fixed. I mean, what the process is going to reveal is not as influential as it might be, and actually should be. But running all the way through this, I think, was the discovery that several discoveries, they can do it, which is, another is simply ask them as a slogan, but which can open up an awful lot instead of leading, following and inquiring and expanding and excitement.
Wow.
No denying it.
Yeah.
And also a sense, I don't know if I'm talking about a golden age or anything like that, but the sense of, wow, here is something.
So how did you first give it a go? Do you remember? What was the first time that you said, oh, we're going to do it differently? And where were you when that happened?
It wasn't a one-off in which there was a single scales from the eyes experience. Nothing as dramatic as that. But at the same time, there was a sense that something was needed that would be a bit different. And there was the freedom. I mean, the freedom came really from whatever the hell I was doing at the time, because nobody was telling me what to do. In fact, I've been extremely fortunate. This is really I don't know if you call it career thing, but my development experience has been blessed by a whole series of mentors or facilitators, enablers, people who gave me the space to try new things. So I was just bloody lucky.
Do you remember?
Power is to development as water is to irrigation. That it's always there, power, and you've written so much about. So can you say any more about how the shift from how power relations, and you began to be concerned particularly about how you changed the attitudes of the uppers, of the powerful. Why was that so important?
Well, it became evident that it was something had to change, and that it was a great. Well, power relations were inhibitors and distorters, and unless you could deal with the power relations and the perceptions of whatever they are between an investigator or and what it is that you're discussing, unless you can neutralize the distortions from the power relations, you're going to be severely hampered in enabling people to express their realities.
Yeah. Something I kept learning from you about the importance of handing over the stick. Why was that important? What did that mean?
Well, by being physical, it was more enduring to start with. I mean, I've got the stick and I've still got the stick. And as long as you've got the stick, you're in a position to say, no. It's very empowering as school teachers, not so good school teachers know very well. So handing over the stick is a metaphor, but it can have a physical reality as well. And it strengthened this move towards a more democratic approach, and the stick can be used for diagramming.
Yeah.
And often was. People would just pick up a stick.
Was it a metaphor? What was it a metaphor for? Is it a metaphor for shifting power, control?
Yes, and certainly power.
Yeah.
And there are examples where having something physical that you're holding is empowering. In Lord of the Flies, for instance, you may remember that there was a conch shell, and anybody who held the conch shell was empowered by that, and everybody else had to shut up and give that person speech, and then sticks came very naturally, and then hand over the stick means that somebody can start talking, and then they may diagram something on the ground that may become an agenda that can be returned to. So the combination of ground and stick,
and the visual,
and the visual and the tactile, all of these things converged, but had not really didn't seem to be very much on the agenda.
Yeah.
Maybe I was missing something, but I didn't hear people or see people talking about these things or making, and so yes, this is a nice stick. It's a good stick, and I'm damned if I'm going to hand it over to you, John.
The first book I read of yours was about The Last Shall Be First.
Yes.
But
no, these are later ones.
Yeah, but that whole idea of people's knowledge
yes,
as the basis of development.
Yes.
And the diagramming. Because that
with Gordon Conway.
Gordon Conway.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
the
I mean,
diagramming.
That's when
that
you
was
were
a
in
very
India with
significant time.
that was
that was. Yes, I'm trying to remember where.
In Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Yes.
okay.
it's really important to recognize the importance of the visual
Mm.
and the tactile, or the whatever one word would use for this.
Yeah.
Because there was this methodology called agroecosystem analysis,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and that was diagramming, and that was a very important input
Mm.
into this whole process, because participation fell into place very, very neatly and very well, and with the idea of people diagramming, and so
So that you discovered that they could understand the diagrams, and then you got the idea
Yes.
that they could do the diagrams themselves.
yes, that's right.
I found is that an example? I
Oh yes, absolutely.
found a picture of diagramming that you
No, this is
that
absolutely
you had.
spot on. Very good, John.
Yeah, and what I learned from you is it was people doing it together on the ground that everybody could see. Right? Wasn't part of it was important because it was visual, but didn't part of it was because if you did it in an open space.
Diagramming came from agroecosystem analysis,
Mm-hmm.
which was Gordon Conway
Mm.
very much, and the University of Konkan.
Mm. Wow.
And that fed in and strengthened the things that came to be labelled under as being PRA.
Mm-hmm. Making eye contact so important.
Well, this is how you dominate. And also, of course, you use your hands very often.
Yeah.
But because it was touching
Mm-hmm.
and moving things around,
Mm-hmm.
other people could put their hand in.
Mm.
And the eye contact is a much neglected aspect of development practice, in my view. Because when you're eye to eye and eye to eye, I'm dominating you.
Mm.
Well,
And particularly you would have been, in your language, you probably would have been seen as an upper.
yes, that's right.
And these folks were oftentimes villagers used to kowtowing to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And their medium,
Yeah.
or a democratic medium,
Yeah.
because diagramming was very important, systematizing knowledge and interviewing and so on. And this was, Gordon Conway was largely responsible for this. And
And the transect was simply walking through the
the
village.
transector could take many different, but it was, yes, walking through, and not just getting stuck on the main road. And it was very striking and a bit frightening to find that doing a transect was resisted by people saying, "There's nothing up there," and and I felt, well, probably there isn't. I said, well, we have to do a transect, and people said, well, there's nothing up there.
So you went up there.
So we went up there, sort of 2 fingers to you, we're going to do it. And so there was a lot of grumbling. But anyway, we did do it. And what we discovered was really interesting. It was absolutely true. And for the first, half an hour, I felt, silly ass, of course there's nothing up there. But we were wandering through this bush, really. And then we came across what we came to describe as gully fields. That the gullies, I think, I don't remember the number now, but I counted a really large number of different species of garden plants. So they were like protected microenvironments.
And it was a whole people's technology, right?
Yes, absolutely. It was people's own technology.
Of the questionnaire, but then the second chapter is all about the biases and development tourism, and I remember learning about the tarmac bias. What did you mean by the tarmac bias?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
What was that?
Well, this was the
And the seasonal bias.
Yes. The question, the biases were and remain influences which are distorting, either by ignoring something.
Assembled here in sunny Brighton, we hope our meeting will shed light on seasons. Is this good or bad? Another conference, one more fad? The answer is we're in a trap. We don't have seasons on our map. Our disciplines aren't trained to see the range of seasonality. First, anthropologists, I swear, to seasons have been far too near. Immersed in culture, rain or dry, they have not seen the clouds pass by. And sociologists, even worse, with questionnaires and questions terse, snatch instant truth one off. It's rare to find them survey all the year. Nutritionists with careful plan conduct their surveys when they can. Be sure the weather's fine and dry, the harvest's in, food intake high. Malariologists can claim their pattern is not quite the same. Superior in virtue, they migrate to face the rainy day. Economists at superbreed show seasonal supplies exceed demand. Result, the landless poor for less and less work more and more. And statisticians too declare they have a seasonal nightmare. An average is but a dream, with seasons means aren't what they seem. Geographers' complacent crew will say, of course, they always knew what others now just come to know, that seasons come and seasons go. Contrariwise, plant breeders say not seasons but the length of day is critical. The key they've seen is a photoperiodic gene. And this is a funny one. Demographers now wonder why we do it when it's cool and dry. Conversely, when it's wet and hot, it seems we tend to do it not. Just a seasonality of birth rates and things. Now, do you want more? Now, epidemiologists will say the worst is when it's poured with rain, for that's when vectors vect and swarms of small insects infect. The students seeking PhDs believe that everyone agrees the rains don't do for rural study. Suits get wet and shoes get muddy. And bureaucrats, that urban type, wait prudently till crops are ripe before they venture to the field to ask their question, what's the yield? The international experts' flights have other seasons, winter nights. In New York, Paris, Brussels, Rome are what drives them in flocks from home. And northern academics too are seasonal in their global view, for they are seen in third world nations mainly during long vacations. The rural people, I forgot, know what some others still know not. Long life and leisure, food and health belong to those who have the wealth. They do not need research to show the troubles they already know. Oppressed by hunger, sickness, debt, they know the worst is when it's wet. But wealthy ones dislike life dry. The poor may thirst, but we'll get by, eating and drinking within reason, steadily through the conference season.
What are these key elements that you said? If you want to continue doing participatory research in different ways, what we need to pay attention to?
The importance of behavior, attitudes, relationships, the things that we don't normally talk about, but that I think these are important to the point of being really seminal if there is to be really rich and relevant participatory facilitation and research. That's what I would say, because those are precisely the things that we find it hardest to deal with. You know, if you
used to tell us about the importance of the ABCs of development. Remember the ABC?
No, it's lost in the mists of
attitudes, behavior, and change.
Mm.
I remember you used to put that up, particularly us younger folks. You would say, I'm not much younger, but you would say, remember your ABCs.
Mm. Yes, well, I mean, thank you. I mean, that's a much more memorable
We've talked
way
about
of
this.
talking about it.